Words are a very powerful thing. Saying certain phrases or sentences changes the course of people's lives. When you want to get married, you ask somebody that initiates a wedding. At the ceremony, you say, I do. Now you are legally bound to this person for life. Wars are declared, and multi-billion million dollar business deals are made off of sentences. The things that are said always have and always will matter. And on some level, people understand this. If you make a threat to somebody, you could very well go to jail, or I guess at least be fucking sued. There are some sort of legal repercussions for the threat that you have uttered. So whenever you say things, things happen as a result of that. And people understand this as a concept, but they, for whatever reason, don't apply it to themselves. When you say negative shit about yourself, you are creating negative outcomes for yourself. When you call yourself a fat person, you are affirming to the universe that you are a fat person and affirming that to yourself, which in turn will justify and cause you to act like a fat person. So you will skip the gym and overeat off of the fact that you continuously tell yourself that you are a fat person. When you tell yourself you can't do anything, you will never be able to do that thing. Period. Belief is a very important thing, and belief is built off of the stories that you tell yourself. And regardless of whatever it is that you do, you are always going to live out the stories that you tell yourself. You will be the character in that, and you will play out the role exactly as you have laid it out in your mind. When you tell yourself that you have certain limits, you will always be limited by those things. When you tell yourself that you are an introvert, then you are never going to be able to do extroverted shit. You are never going to go and be able to be outgoing and outspoken and all of these other things, be the life, whatever the fuck else it is people consider being an extrovert. When you tell yourself that you are depressed, you are putting yourself in the box of depression, and boxes have sides, and those sides are walls that prevent you from operating outside of the box. And that is all based off of the things that you are telling yourself. You tell yourself you're depressed, you tell yourself your brain isn't working right, or something is wrong with you, or you need pills, or you can't be happy, or whatever the fucking case may be. As long as you tell yourself these things are always going to be true. Whenever you complain, you are affirming to the universe again that you have some sort of problems. There is some sort of negativity going on in your life, and that shapes the reality that you live in. You complain about the fact that it's hot outside, and that makes it much worse that it's hot. You complain about the cold, that makes it worse that it's cold. You complain about how bad your day was, and all that does is reinforce in your mind that you had a terrible day, and then you proceed off of that, and that feeds the depression that you tell yourself that you have, and that contributes to the anxiety that you tell yourself that you have. And all of these things form together and prevent you from being able to do any of the shit that you truly want to do and being the person that you want to be. And all of it starts with the words that you utter to yourself. When they are negative, you will get negative shit, period. When you tell yourself you're not a morning person, you are preventing yourself from being able to get up early, because when that alarm goes off, all of the words that pop up in your head are going to go in a direction that furthers the belief that you are not someone who can get up. I used to do the exact same shit. My alarm would go off. Oh, you're not well rested enough. Just go back to sleep. And then, so that makes sense. You do it, hit the snooze button. That goes off. You're still not awake enough. You tell yourself that you need to be rested, well rested. You tell yourself it's okay. I'm not a morning person anyway. You just go right back to where the fuck it is that you are. And the more you tell yourself this, the more true that it becomes, because you are acting out the script that you are giving yourself. Same thing people tell themselves they have anger problems. It's not that you have an anger problem just intrinsically. It's not that that's just a part of who you are. It's who you've made yourself into by reacting to things angrily and then affirming that to yourself by telling yourself that you have an anger problem. Now, every time you're angry, you tell yourself, well, what else would I be? Because I have an anger problem. I can't help it. And now you can't. Not because you factually can't, but because you are telling yourself that you can't. And those are the sentences that you say to yourself, the words that you say to yourself are your mind's operating system. And every time you say something bad about yourself, or say something that you don't want to be the case, you are just further ingraining that into your software. You are writing all of this shit into yourself where you do all of these things that deep down you know you don't want to do, but you're perpetuating because you keep speaking those things into existence. Have you ever seen as a matter of fact, I used to be somebody, I used to always say that I was an unlucky person. And then a bunch of bad shit happened to me. And every time the bad shit happened to me, I would then go back and say, be like, see, it's because I'm unlucky. Why would bad shit not happen to me? But the fact of the matter is, bad shit wasn't happening to me. I wasn't saying that I was unlucky because bad shit was happening to me. Bad shit was happening to me because I was saying that I was unlucky. I was telling myself that, and subconsciously I was moving in a way that an unlucky person would move, and therefore attracting bad things, because the story that I told myself was that I am unlucky and therefore bad things will happen to me. And then I made that into my reality, because that's what everyone does. Everyone shapes their own reality. Everyone creates the world in which they live. If you believe that you are an unmotivated person, then you are never going to be able to do things, because you are even something that would motivate you is not going to motivate you, because in your mind it's not possible for you to be motivated. So you're never going to be able to find any degree of motivation because it doesn't fit with the story that you're telling yourself, and that will now be your reality. When you tell yourself that you can't get things done or you can't focus, people love that one with their ADD shit. But when you tell yourself that you can't focus, then focusing naturally is a hard thing to do. But when you try and do something and it becomes difficult for you to focus, what you have fall back on is what you've told yourself in your mind, that, well, of course I can't focus because I have ADD. Focusing is not something that I can do. Remembering is not something that I can do. Staying on track or showing up on time is not something that I could do. Whenever you tell yourself these things, you will become these things and you will do these things. Again, you're not observant. You're not just a super perceptive person who's picked up on these things. You have made them true by speaking them and then etching them into your subconscious. And now you act in these ways and you do things to prevent you from being able to be on time or from being able to remember, because you are trying to live out the story that you're writing for yourself. I used to say all of the time that I had a bad memory and I couldn't remember shit. But once I stopped telling myself that I had a bad memory, magically I was able to remember stuff again, because I was no longer trying to affirm that belief that I had given to myself. I was no longer trying to operate off of the system that I was before, which the system being that I had a bad memory. Once I stopped saying it, it stopped being true. And it works in the opposite direction too. When you tell yourself positive things on a subconscious level, you will start to act in ways that embody these things. When you say that you are a morning person, when you say that you are even tempered, when you say that you can focus, you can do great things, you can handle problems, you can comprehend complex things with ease, you enjoy doing things that are difficult. All of these fucking things work in the same way that the negative shit does, in the same way that the complaints affirm that negativity into your reality. The positive self-talk does it in the opposite direction, and you start to become the person that you tell yourself are, because that's what you're wiring into your brain and into your subconscious, and then you will act these things out. So your goal should always be to talk to yourself positively. Tell yourself good things. I got this. I can handle this. This is not a problem. I'm equipped to deal with this. I enjoy things the more difficult that they get. I like being up early. Hunger is good for me. Being tired is good for me. Working is good for me. Whatever the fucking case may be. I'm awesome. I'm amazing. I'm well spoken. I am all of these things. I know they sound stupid to some people, but they sound stupid to the people who are lacking these characteristics and these traits. So, excuse me. It's not that the saying of the thing makes you the thing, but it's not like saying you're confident makes you confident, but when you say it, you're putting it into your subconscious, and that makes you want to act in a way that will affirm this belief that you have about yourself. So we'll go back to the morning person again. When I stopped telling myself that I wasn't a morning person and started telling myself that I would just get up early, it became easier and easier and easier to do. I would go to sleep saying I'm going to get up at X time. At 3:53 is when I get up. I would go to sleep saying I'm going to get up at this time and it's going to be perfectly fine. Then my alarm would go off and I was already prepared for it. I went up because I put it into my head. All of the things that you put into your mind, you will bring into reality. So That's the problem with a lot of the other things that I speak against. When you accept depression and you accept that you have a condition called depression, some sort of disorder, you put that into your mind, that will become your reality. It doesn't matter if it's real or not. It matters that you believe in it. Because you believe in it, it's real. There are, even if you want to go into the scientific perspective that people like, there's studies and all kinds of cases of people who believe that they have there's some woman who believed that she was pregnant and then started showing symptoms of pregnancy. Fuck it, we're gonna call it symptoms of pregnancy. Obviously she didn't have a baby, but her body started acting as though she was pregnant. It's the same thing when people get into car accidents and the doctor tells them that they're never going to walk again. If they would have accepted that as their reality, whether or not that was going to be the case, it would have been the case, because they never would have even tried. But there are lots of people who get into some sort of fucked up accident. The doctor says you're never going to walk, you're never going to use your arms or whatever the fuck again, and they make a miraculous recovery where they get all of their motion and all of that other shit back against all that the fucking doctor said. And the reason is because they did not accept that as their reality. They did not accept the story that was told to them and instead told themselves different shit in their mind. Fuck that. I am going to walk again, no matter what it takes. Fuck that. It's my body. I have control over it. I don't know exactly what it is that their self-talk looked like, but I assure you it was fucking positive. And it was off of the back of that positive self-talk that they had the tenacity to do what it was that needed to be done to regain their ability to walk. The people who go to the gym every single day have positive self-talk about what it is that's going to go on in the gym and their ability to do so. And because of that, they believe that if they go long enough and put in the work, they will get the results that they are after, which is why they have what it takes to go there every single day regardless and show up and put in the work, is because of how it is that they talk to themselves. And when you talk to yourself negatively, you will in turn think negatively, and you will in turn act negatively, and you will in turn get negative shit, excuse me. So when you, in the opposite direction is true. When you talk to yourself positively, you will think positively, means you will act positively, means you will get positivity. The shit that you say to yourself is fucking important. Anyone who tells you different, I assure you, has a life that you do not want to live.